Let's get into it, Coach Colin here. You're about to see a clip of AOC saying something absolutely terrible, and then you're going to see a woman who's a Bronx native who calls her out in the best way possible at the Trump rally. This is one of many spectacular things that the Bronx natives have said and shown themselves as. It's absolutely epic. This woman is a tough lady. Let's get into it. Jesse Waters reporting on something that AOC said.
Humiliated, Trump gets bigger crowds in her borough than she does.
New York City's blue. Brooklyn is blue, Queens is blue, the Bronx is blue, and he's got nowhere to go. And so he's decided to come to the South Bronx. He's broke. He needs to pay these legal funds and, busing people in order to get those donations so that he can funnel them to his legal fees is kind of his business right now.
Trump doesn't have to be in court for a week. He doesn't have to be in the Bronx. He wants to. Trump's not going to the Bronx because he's broke. He's going to the Bronx because the Bronx is broke, thanks to Bidenomics and AOC. Johnny's been there since 2, hasn't seen a single bus pull up.
Where are you from?
The Bronx, actually.
I'm originally from the Bronx and from New York.
I'm from the Bronx.
Right here in the Bronx, New York. This is home, right here.
AOC says if you're not a Democrat, you don't belong here in the Bronx. Right. What do you say?
I disagree with that.
I don't think she should be here in the Bronx. I actually don't know any Democrats living in the Bronx.
Look, AOC, look at the tremendous support for Mr. Donald J. Trump.
You need to tell her then she need to stay out the Bronx because look at all the people around. Everybody's here for Trump.
I am a Democrat, and I belong here.
And who are you voting for?
Donald J. Trump.
What has AOC done for the Bronx?
She's done nothing for the Bronx. Nothing. Nothing's changed. Nothing's gotten any better.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Let her come to the Bronx and let her come among us people that struggle. She doesn't even know what struggle is.
All these people want is to be heard. And when you realize that, you understand how easy a politician's job is. Even easier than mine. You listen to the voters and you deliver the goods. That's it. You don't ignore them and deliver for yourself. AI would do a better job in Washington than Democrats. The Bronx has never felt more abandoned.
We have so many Americans doing so bad in this country because we have people in this country believe that they have the right to strip us of our humanity, strip us of everything that we own, strip us of our rights to raise our children the way we want to raise our children. We have to stand up against them. It's not about just supporting Trump. It's supporting your rights. It's supporting this country's rights. It's supporting our children. All of you people at home that's scared to come out and say you support Donald Trump, we get you. We understand. You might lose your job. You might lose, but vote for him anyway. If you continue to support the Democratic Party, which is anti-black, you're a damn fool.
AOC's brain can't even grasp anything.
What's going on?
Person spliced in a little meme there at the end. But, that one gentleman at the end, he says, if you're a Democrat, you're supporting, Democratic Party, you're a fool. To me, that's true. But I also get it that some people are just on the side that they're on. I completely understand, some people, when someone can't get through a sentence, it puts pure confidence inside of them. When they're falling asleep and slipping upstairs, it just gives them a sense of nostalgia. You probably, right, if you miss your grandparents a lot, you look at Biden and you say, oh man, it's this grandpa. This is fantastic. Grandpa's back. How nice would it be for grandpa to be back? You know what I mean? Especially I'm somebody who's never met any of my grandparents. I understand completely. I would love to see grandpa slip up some stairs on the way to eat some ice cream and just take a good old nap. I would have loved that. So, I know what he means, but you can't exactly demonize people to that extent, because I don't like it when Robert De Niro goes, hey, anyone who's a Trump supporter is supporting Mussolini, is dumb, is it like, throwing out those insults the way he did in his recent appearance on MSNBC and The View. It's a little ridiculous, but I know what the guy's saying. He's passionate about the whole thing. A lot of people want to see Trump as president. And, especially as a black person, when you're hearing, when you know Biden's history as a senator, and then you know the things that he said, and you know what the Democratic Party has been doing, and you know that they have more racist tendencies than anyone on the right, when you know that they think that they own the black vote and the Hispanic vote, they just feel like they own minorities. When you awaken to all of that, and you see anybody supporting it, you get a little upset. So I understand completely. Let's hear from this woman. Now I'm going to play this short clip of this woman. Then I'm going to play a longer clip because she actually got on stage and she has a few choice words for AOC. Check.
So what brings you to the rally here today? What do you support about Trump?
I'm a 40-year Democrat who has turned away and walked away from the Democratic Party because of the way I was treated after my son was killed. The way the party turned against me, and they would not support me in my efforts. And also Alvin Bragg, the way he let two of my son's killers, walk. He dropped gang assault and murder charges against two of my son's killers. So, I've been in this fight for about 6 years, and we support Trump because we know that he cares about the issues that happen here in this community, even to the point where he has actually showed up here today, all right, in the South Bronx, the dirty South Bronx, okay, that is full of crime and poverty, dilapidated housing, failing schools, unemployment, crime, and he's actually here to listen to and deliver a message to the people.
So what brings you to the rally?
Wow. She even said the dirty Bronx. But you know what? She explained what she meant. There's dilapidated housing. There's crime everywhere. It's like the rest of New York, right? So it's interesting. Not even interesting. It's kind of, I don't want to say brave, but along those lines, the fact that she's willing to say that, very bold, but also very strong. I never understand how people in this situation where she's holding a picture of her son, just the worst thing. I know mothers that have had to bury their kids, and it's just wild when it happens, and for them to stay strong and then fight this battle, fight against it because of what happened to their son so it doesn't happen to somebody else's son. Just monumental strength. And she had more to say. I found another clip of her. She actually got on stage. She had a lot to say. So let's get into it.
That are dead. Not to mention the fentanyl poisoning. How many lives were lost due to fentanyl poisoning? I also have a son, Rayvon, who got a hold of some bad cocaine that was laced with fentanyl. So I have two sons dead in the grave in less than 3 years. Hassan murdered, Rayvon fentanyl poisoning. These are real issues. I'm a real person. I go to work every single day, and I can't even afford to pay rent, or I have to make a decision to pay rent or buy food. I look in my refrigerator right now. My refrigerator is empty because I decided to do my laundry. Then we have the illegals flooding our borders, coming into our communities, sucking up the resources that we barely have. Why? Why should we allow this to happen? Every last person here needs to rise up and get fighting mad, and make sure that you are registered to vote and go out there and you vote up and down the line, not just the presidency. The local elections are more important than the presidency. Get rid of AOC. Vote her ass out. Get rid of Richie Torres. Vote his ass out. I have nothing to lose. So I can stand up here and I can say this. None of you here are paid to be here. She got on color TV this morning and said that Trump busted in these people and paid everyone out here. Who here got paid to be here today? Or are you here because you know that this is the time in history that you're in the right place at the right time and you need to be here today? We don't want the Republicans to take our vote vote for granted like the Democrats did for 50 years. Get Tina, vote in Tina. I'm sorry. Tina Forte. That's right. And I also like to give a quick shout out to Latina Brown, and to Derek Gibson for organizing that pre-Trump rally that was over in the South Bronx the other day, which had a lot to do with the momentum that we have here today.
Man, strong words. Very strong words. Calling out AOC like that, absolutely amazing. And then the second son. She's talking about one son, and then she's talking about another son. And then, again, you can always, people, I've heard Ben Shapiro make the case so many times, like, oh, these people, they do it to themselves. They do it to themselves. Yeah, you guys don't understand. They do it to themselves. And, you can say that's true, but it's like when you look at the fentanyl that she's talking about, it's very clear. The president of Mexico is like, oh, that's not us. We don't do that. It's not made here. It's not consumed here. Meanwhile, Tijuana in 2020, they actually couldn't get much stuff over the border because of everything that was happening in regards to the pandemic. And then they ended up, the cartels, or whoever, ended up having it there. And they have their own epidemic of fentanyl now. It's wild. But, when you listen enough and you watch enough documentaries and you see how it all works, she knows what she's saying is factual. That is her son getting poisoned that way. And, I'm the first to say he shouldn't have been doing that stuff in the first place. But for that poisoning to happen, there is an element of it, a massive element, in fact, that has to do with the border. The border was more secure. Things like that wouldn't be able to get through. And things like that wouldn't be poisoning people in the streets like this. Such a solid woman, man. Like that lady looks like she's like my mom's age. She should just be a grandparent, just at home, just waiting to see grandkids. Like that's what she should be doing. Instead, she's doing stuff like that. Man, solid lady. Definitely solid lady. I couldn't find out her name. At all. It didn't say it in the description of anything. So hopefully I'm able to find it out. I hope some outlet chooses to interview her or something. We'll see. But anyways, another Bronx native making themselves heard. And listen, this is what happens. Keep in mind, no one came to talk to that lady about what happened to her sons, right? A lot of people say Donald Trump's out for himself, but look at what happened. He went to the Bronx. Not only did he get the coverage, but all of a sudden the outlets started talking to the people in the Bronx. So yeah, Trump might not be able to hear every single person who has something to say in the Bronx, hear all of their concerns, but he gets to put out the message that I'm here to actually fight for your vote. I think I deserve it. And he breaks down why. But then what also happens is that the news outlets come and they start talking to the Bronx natives. You think this woman would have had that type of stage at any other day? Do you know how many women there are that are going through things like that have had sons that have passed because of absolutely crazy circumstances? This one's directly linked to the border. That is what Trump did. Trump did that. Not only did he show up there and kind of shine a light and say, hey guys, I'm here to hear you. I want you to hear me. I want to connect as Americans. But now all of a sudden other news outlets are now asking people from the Bronx what they think. And they do not do that unless someone like Donald Trump shows up. They would do it too if Biden showed up, but he never does. They would do it too if RFK showed up, but he has not. Just saying. Other than that, guys, I'm out. Like, subscribe. It helps the channel tremendously. Peace.